I am Anil Kumar. Welcome to my YouTube channel and the website Global Math Institute. Let me thank all the viewers and subscribers for watching my videos and sharing some brilliant questions. One of them is right here before you. We are now going to rationalize a radical expression which has three terms in the denominator, as you can see. Very few examples are seen where such scenarios are discussed. You might see them in a test problem or a competitive exam, yes, for sure. But now let's try to understand how do we rationalize it. Perfect. Well, if you want to learn from me directly, you can always send an email on the address given. I can be part of your success story. Now let's see, how do we rationalize this? We are given 2 over the three terms in the denominator, radicals, square root 3 plus square root 2 minus square root 5. Now to rationalize, what should I do? Well, I know how to rationalize when two terms are there. We multiply and divide by the conjugate. So let us think in a similar fashion. Let's combine these two. Then now we have two terms, right? Let me make it more clear by writing brackets here. Does that make sense? Truly, now we have just two terms, right? Okay, so we are going to rationalize, means I am going to multiply and divide this by square root 3 plus square root 2. Well, within brackets plus square root 5. Makes sense? That is what is rationalization, right? Multiplying by the conjugate. Right. So we have this as square root 3 plus square root 2 plus square root 5. So when we multiply and divide by the same term, it's like multiplying by 1. We are not changing anything. However, we have gone one step ahead in simplification of the given expression, right? You agree with me, right? How does that help? Some students think we have just complicated this, right? Anyway, here is how it continues. We know if I do a plus b times a minus b, that is product of conjugates, I really get two terms, a square minus b square, right? Makes sense? So that is the simplification which we have really done here. So let's continue. So once we have done this, we know now the denominator is much simpler. It is square of the two things, and one of them is square root 3 plus square root 2, right? Square of this. And the other term is square root 5 square, right? In the numerator, we have complicated it a bit. Well, that's the part of rationalization, right? So it doesn't matter if you have radicals in the numerator. That's fine. But we have to avoid them in the denominator. And that is why we rationalize. Perfect. So understanding of this is also important. Why are we doing so, correct? Well, let's move on. So in the numerator, let me just expand these terms, and what do we get? We get 2 square root 3 plus 2 square root 2. And we have plus 2 square root 5. Well, that is complicated. However, in the denominator, we have much simpler thing. So we have 5 square root square, just number 5, and we have this term which we need to expand further, correct? Which is like a plus b whole square. So we could write this as square root 3 square plus 2ab plus b square, right? That becomes 3 plus 2 times square root of 6. That is when we multiply 3 and 2. And plus 2, right, of course. And then here we have minus 5. So you see, we have really simplified it. Perfect. So in the numerator, we have got all these terms. Let me rewrite them. Okay, I cannot do much with these terms. I have 2 square root 3 plus 2 square root 2 plus 2 square root 5. But the denominator is much simpler. 2, 3 plus 2 is 5, 5 minus 5 is 0, so we have just 2 square root 6 here. Perfect. That means I just need to multiply by square root 6. Second, since we got 2 square root 6, well, there was no need to expand with 2. Those things also cancel away, right? Okay, great. So that is very good. Let's take it on the new page and now complete this rationalization. So what we have here is, let me rewrite this. What we did was, in the numerator, we have 2 times the conjugate of denominator, which was square root 3 plus square root 2, and we made this positive, right? Okay, and in the denominator, we are left with 2, and then what? Square root 6. Oh, that is so simple. Square root 6. Correct. So at this stage, we can cancel out these 2's. Last time I just multiplied, expanded. Now realize it was better to keep it as such, right? Perfect. So we do that. Now, square root 6 is what we need to figure out. So, of course, we'll rationalize this also. So, rationalizing when only one term is there is by just multiplying the same term, right? Square root 6. And when I do so, I get what? Now, I can actually multiply square root 6 with each and every term here. So, we get square root of 6 times 3, which is 18, plus 6 times 2, which is 12. Plus 6 times 5, which is 30. Great. And in the denominator, we have the number 6. Square root 6 times square root 6. So that is it, right? Well, you can always continue with this because square root 18 can be written as 9 times 2 or 3 square root 2. Makes sense, right? Square root 12. 4 times 3, which is plus 4 times 3 means 2 square root 3, right? And 30 as such has no other perfect square as a factor, right? 15 times 2, 5, 2, 3, right? Doesn't really work out much. So we'll just keep it as such, okay? And everything divided by 6. Do you see that? So that is how we could actually rationalize the given expression where we had 3 terms, 3 radicals in the denominator. So it is a 2-step process where you club the 2 items, right? And then, multiply and divide by the conjugate. Whatever you get, you can further rationalize second stage, right? And get your result. So I hope with this, the concept is absolutely clear. Try some questions. Make your own questions, try them out, and practice this kind of rationalization. I hope that helps. Feel free to write a comment, share your views. If you like and subscribe to my videos, that'd be great. You can always watch my channel and the website for the latest updates. In case you want to learn from me, send an email on the address given. Thanks for your time and all the best.